Oh, what fun it is to ride a two-mule open sleigh!
Hi guys, what are you doing?
Hey, look who's here. We're just getting ready to harness up these mules and go for a sleigh ride. Would you like to join us?
Sure.
All right. So come on over here and let me tell you about these mules. So this is Francis, and that one over there, that's Faye. Now these mules. First, maybe I ought to tell you what a mule is. A mule has a donkey for a father and a horse for a mother. That's what makes a mule. Now these particular mules, their father was a Mammoth Jack. They're actually half sisters. They're about 11 years old, and their mothers were Belgian mares, and so that's why they're so big. So they'd be called draft mules. They're about 1,500 pounds each. So would you like to learn how to harness them up?
Sure.
All right.
What does that even mean?
Well, we have to put their harness on so they can pull the sleigh. Now, hi girl. We're gonna. I'll tell you what these all mean and such.
My bad.
So I'm gonna tell you the names and what all these parts do. The names I'm gonna use is the names that was taught to me by my father, who learned how to harness animals when he was a little boy in the 30s and 40s.
That's
And
what they used when he was a kid.
That's what he used farming. And he learned it from his dad, which is our grandpa. So what we have here is the collar. Now, because mules have such big heads, you usually undo the collar and you put it up like this, hook it around, get it all hooked up tight. Come on up here close so you can tell. So you get that all hooked up like that. Then it's important that you have the collar fit right. So it needs to be above the point of their shoulder, right there. And it needs to have enough space in here. See a nice hand width here? Yeah, I love you too. Nice hand width in there so they can breathe. All right?
Come on in, we'll show you how to get the harness, the rest of it all done up. There's a certain way you stack it in there, a certain way you take it out. Let us go show you that. This here's the mule's harness here. We put them on these here board laid on the way we take them off of the mules. So when you pick them up, you got to make sure you take them off the same way and just shift them up on your shoulder. Reach out and grab that far hame. And now it's all ready to put right up on the mule the same way I took it off there. Come on out, I'll show you how. Okay, so we're going to put this here on just like we took it off. I'm going to spread it out like this here. Set it up over in the collar there. And then I just sit and lay it off my shoulder. Right in position. Just like that. Make sure these here hames sit up here in the collar where they belong. And we'll shift all that and tie it down when I show you how. Okay, I've laid that on here and I get the hames right here. I've got to make sure they sit down this here collar. Right there snug. And the other side's in there snug too. And I take this here strap up through here and around through there and cinch that up nice and tight like that. You gotta have that tight so it doesn't shift. If it shifts around, it'll wear on her. It'll be hard. The collar, it's made up of, got straw stuffed inside here, and then they've sewed the leather around it. It's quite an ingenious setup of how that works. So yeah, I've got that nice and tight in there now, and I get this here all buckled up here, and that there works good right there.
Okay, so after we get that all hooked up, then we got this neck yoke strap. That needs to come over here and hook up. And then from there, we go to the holdback strap, That goes between their legs. And then you reach underneath and grab this one here and do up that's the belly band. You do up the belly band.
So why do you need something underneath their stomach like that?
Okay, so when we hook up to the sleigh, the neck yoke is going to hook onto them right there, and that's going to help the sleigh so you have steering and you also have brakes.
Okay.
Okay, I forgot this holdback strap here. We're gonna get the quarter strap there, hooked onto that. And then I'm gonna go over on the other side here. There's another one, just like it on the other side. I'm gonna hook that one on. And that there finishes your brake off. You see, that comes up in here, comes back here. This is what they call a Cooper. We're going to put the Cooper up underneath your tail so it holds it. Sometimes they have Coopers, and sometimes they have Britchens. A Cooper goes up under their tail. A Britchen, it'll go around here like this and hold back here. And that's the difference between a Cooper and a Britchen.
And what's the purpose of that?
That there is when the sleigh slides forward, it hits that holdback strap and pulls up here and stops it so they can hold the sleigh from sliding on past and run into the back of their legs. And the Cooper does the same thing. It slides forward and holds the sleigh from coming forward because it pulls up there on that holdback strap they had.
Okay, so next is the bridle. I like to keep the bridle right here hanging on top of the hames. That way it keeps it all straight and keeps the right bridle with the right animal. So, put the bridle on. Come on over here, Francis. You just go up on right over the top of the halter. You got the check rein right there. I'll show you where that goes in a second. First off, you just push that up and over. And you come up, and then the bit goes in the mouth, like that. And then, you gotta be careful with mules. Their ears are kind of big and sensitive. So, you kind of be gentle with them. Then they won't get irate with you and get upset about the whole ordeal.
Why do they have such long ears?
Well, they get that from their daddy. Remember, their daddy is a donkey, and donkeys have big ears. That's what they get there from their daddy. Okay, and then we got the throat latch on the bridle. That comes underneath there. Right up underneath their neck there. You don't want that too tight because you don't want it to choke them off. And then the check rein, that keeps their head up. That comes back here and it hooks right here on this hook right there.
Why do they have that metal piece in their mouth?
Well, that's so we can steer them. That's where we'll hook the reins to.
But why is it in their mouth?
Because wherever their mouth goes, the rest of them goes. Okay, so the next thing is we got to hook up the reins. So here's the one outside rein. Oh yeah, right there. And then we take this, I got them all up here to keep them all tidy. And that comes off. And then we bring that back here. And I like to just tuck it under there just to keep it off the ground. So that'll hold it there till later. And next you come around here in the middle and you gotta cross rein them. That means
he gives me his and I take his. When you hook them up, make sure you always hook this smooth side next to the animal so this here doesn't catch them.
yeah, you don't want to scratch them all up.
We'll explain later why we cross rein them. It'll make sense to you once we get up there.
There you go. Now with that all hooked up like that, one last look at everything, make sure everything's in order. I think we're ready to drive them over and hook them up to the sleigh.
We almost forgot the jingle bells.
Yeah, we better put the jingle
Gotta have
bells.
these here on for the right sound.
Okay, so these, we want to make sure they don't interfere with the reins or anything like that. So we just tuck them up underneath the reins on top of the harness, and just clip on, just like that. Okay, remember where we tucked them reins? Now we're ready to pull them out. Make sure everything's nice and straight. Unhook me right there, Ben. Thank you. So we get the reins all pulled out. There we go. Not like that. Now to get them to back up, all I got to do is just pull back and tell them so, and they'll back up, and then they're going to turn. I'll pull on the left side to turn them left, and the right side to turn them right. Back up. Good girls. Back up. Step over. There you go. Step up. Step up there. Step up. Step up. Okay, we're going to step over the tongue. Step over. Step over. Good girl. Bring it around. There you go. Back up. Back. 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 Whoa. So we take the neck yoke and it goes through this loop right here.
Let me pull her up. And we hook that right there. We got the same on there. So we hook up the steering first. That's why we did this here end first, before you hook up the tugs. Now we should be able to hook up the tugs, right?
Yep. So come on back here. You stay up here, Ben. Okay, you always want to hook up the inside one first, so it don't get you trapped in there. See how that hooks up right there?
And when you undo it, you always put it on the right ring that you want to hook it back up to. The only time you have to count.
Ooh, easy, girls. And that one hooks up right there. You gotta make sure it's all hooked up even. Step over, step over.
Hey, come on, girls. Why don't you climb on and go for a ride with us?
Okay, awesome.
Come on up here up front. All right. Better hang on.
They're excited to go.
So how do you get them to stop?
Well, you pull back on the reins and say, whoa, whoa.
Why do you say whoa?
Because you want them to stop.
Yeah, whoa. They understand language, so they know that means you're going to pull back and stop them.
And then when you're ready to go, you just ease off on the reins and you go, and off we go.
You should always talk to your animals so they understand and know your tone of voice.
That's so cool.
Good. Remember what I was saying about when you want them to turn right, you just pull on the right rein.
And you see how we cross the reins? So when he pulls on that right rein, it pulls on the opposite horse over there and pulls on this side.
Pulls on the right side of both mules. Then when I pull on the left rein, pulls on the left side of both mules, and they turn to the left.
Wow, that's really cool.
So, would you like to drive them?
Oh, can I?
Yeah, sure. Here, grab a hold. See how I got a hold?
Hold on tight.
Yeah, you got to hold on tight to them. All right, remember what I said? Let's turn them to the right now. There you go.
Dang, I think you got it.
Just like that. Okay, don't forget to straighten them out. Yeah, straighten them back out. All right, let's turn them to the left a little bit now.
Just like a pro, isn't she?
Easy, girls, walk. That's better.
See how he listens to their voice? And they calm down when they hear him talk?
Walk. It's always good to talk to your animals to keep them calm.
Isn't it dangerous working with large animals?
Well,
Sometimes
actually,
it can be, yeah.
it can be. No matter how well you train an animal, sometimes things go bad.
You just never can predict what an animal will do. There's that one time, remember, with Dad.
Yep.
Just about lost Dad because of a horse that wasn't doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, that happened just right out here behind us. He had a team, and one of them was really good, and one of them, well, she wasn't so good at all.
It was named right. That was named Stormy.
Yep, and
The other one was Nettie, wasn't it?
yep,
Nettie?
Stormy and Nettie.
Yeah,
And
Nettie was a good horse. She was a good one.
She was a
Stormy
really good horse.
had some problems.
That Dad was driving them out there, and Stormy started acting up, and she reared up and reared over backwards. And then
You guys seen how the harnesses was all hooked up, and they rear over backwards. You can imagine how much of a tangled mess that would make.
Yep. And then she stood up facing the wrong direction, and it was a tangled up mess. And so then Dad he got down off the wagon and was trying to untangle her, and she threw a fit again and reared up and over again. But this time she knocked Dad on the ground underneath Nettie and landed on top of his legs.
Nettie was in a bad way, because then every time she was pinned so he couldn't move, but he was laying underneath Nettie, and he was holding on her belly band, wasn't it?
Yep.
To hold himself up. And Nettie just stood there, and Stormy, she'd keep throwing a fit trying to get up.
She'd try and get up, and every time she tried to get up, she'd roll, and the further she rolled, it started crushing Dad's chest. But then she would hit Nettie, and Nettie wouldn't move. She just stood there like a rock. And so then Stormy would have to roll back.
And Dad's head was right between Nettie's two front feet.
Yep.
Standing like that. She just wouldn't move at all. Dad hanging on to her. Mom was there with him when it happened.
Yep. She had to go fetch a knife.
So she had to run from there all the way into the house and get a kitchen knife out of the kitchen.
Yep.
And go run back out and start cutting harnesses.
And she finally got enough of the harness cut free that Stormy was able to roll the other way off and get up, and she ran off. And there Nettie stood right there, right over the top of Dad, protecting him. And it's a good thing, because
it would have crushed Dad's chest.
It would have crushed his chest, and he would have been done for right then and there.
Once Mom got him cut loose, and Dad was able to get up and hobble away.
Yep.
And then clean up the mess.
Yep, then it was just a matter of cleaning up the mess.
Well, thank you so much for showing me how you hook up the mules, and for the sleigh ride. That was super fun.
Yeah, it can be lots of fun. Oh, what fun it is to ride a two-mule open sleigh.